Looks like you've taken a wrong turn. Welcome to Route 404. I'll be your host, Gloomy, and this is my co host, Adam.
Hello. Welcome to the death of the forms.
So, before we get into the death of the forums, do you want to talk about why you decided to do this podcast with me?
Well, you invited me. This has been something you wanted me doing for a while, and I thought it was very interesting. We we're not that different. We're not that far in age. I'm 25 and you're 40.
I,
Um, this is 30, which in
yeah,
real life in real life isn't that big of a gap. But in terms of online, that's pretty major, right?
yeah. Online, in internet years, it's kind of like dog years. So,
Yeah,
every year is like 7 more years than it actually is. So, I don't know.
right.
I'm probably like 35 years older than you.
Very true. So, yeah, the internet moves so fast. So when you were browsing in the internet, by the time I really got into using it, like around, I'd say like around 7, 8, maybe later, like 10, it was already very different from what you experienced. And for our very first episode, we wanted to talk about the forums because I feel like that's the biggest divide between me and you. When you
Yeah.
first got into the internet was forums. That's how you interacted. That's how you talked to people. That's how you met people. And by the time I came in, I really started to use it. Forums were already on the way out, and the rise of social media and the centralization of like the same five websites were already in effect. It's kind of like I kind of relate to The Sopranos because there's like this whole theme of coming at the very end of like the mafia. I feel that way with forums. I came at the very end of them. There was still a lot of them. There was still some active ones, but that golden age of thousands of people all on a forum at the same time, that was long gone. And pretty much everything I know about forums is from other people, is from people talking about, back in my day. And I thought it would be cool to be on this podcast with you and we can talk about, how the internet changed, the things we lost as the internet has progressed.
Yeah, and I feel like digital communication is so important to me and also to my work that I feel like this theme of digital connectivity has always been central in the kinds of comics that I do and the kinds of illustration work that I do. So it was always something very interesting to me and something that I knew if I wanted to make a podcast it was going to have to be about the internet.
Something we've talked about before, Gloomy, was the kind of the reputation of the internet. And it's crazy to think back to like the 80s where the internet it wasn't everything yet. It was like just an invention. It was a place like the family computer. And it didn't encapsulate reality yet as it is now. Like, and the way people talk about the internet, it used to be like a positive, like back in the 80s, like surf the world wide web, go to the information highway, all the information is available for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
My monitor just went black. Sorry, but the internet is completely free. And now, like in TV shows, if a character says, "Hey, look at this, I just learned it off the internet," it's usually like a joke. Like that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing to learn things off the internet. Now you want to like now you got to go back to like physical books to be reliable. The internet is no longer reliable or necessarily like a good, cool new place, and it has happened pretty much at the same time it like became the new reality. It's no longer an invention, it's just life.
Yeah, I would say that the internet has kind of become an omnipresent reality. It's like hyper real
Yeah.
in a sense. Like you wake up, the first thing you do is like check your phone. First thing you do before you go to bed, check your phone, and all of it is like, oh well, I even do it. Scroll on TikTok for like
Yeah.
2 hours during lunch. No, for like 20 minutes during lunch. And
Yeah.
then but
And
even
5
then
hours
that's
other times.
and 5 hours other
And
times.
5 hours before bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And and I know that that kind of a thing is kind of unhealthy because, like you said, the internet used to be a place. It was a place
Yeah.
that you could go and you could experience the internet and then you could shut the cabinet doors and go to bed.
Yeah.
And now
Now it's
it's,
hard. It's hard to escape.
yeah, it's hard to escape the internet when the internet used to be an escape.
And you can't even escape it any like people like say, "Oh, get off the internet. Go outside." And it's reality has been affected by the internet so much like not to get political here, but a lot of politics and society is directly affected by what's going on the internet. And now if you don't use the internet, you're kind of like out of touch. You.
Oh yeah. I mean, people will say touch grass as much as they want to, but that's only for things that, they don't like. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're too online, you need to touch grass, and then they'll go back to arguing about pro ship and anti ship, you know?
Guys say touch grass and then they like don't touch grass.
Yeah.
They say touch grass and then the back scrolling like you're not touching grass either. None of us are. We're all
No,
inside.
no
Let's be
one
honest
here
here.
is no one here is touching grass. Let's be very clear.
It's like
You're
the it's like white people be like. You're the white people talking about the white people be like. Like this
I
is
am.
this is you.
That's me.
So that's why I wanted to do this. I think it would be fun really talking about the internet more like as a history major, more like history, more like this is the reality affecting all of us. So that's why I agreed I want to be on this.
Yeah, and I also think that there's this kind of archival nature to forums if we want to talk about what forums actually are.
Yeah, I think let's just get into it. Just stop delaying. Why do we want to start with like why I already explained like this was a big part of our generational divide, but why is forums that important that we want to talk about it first? What is a forum? What is this shit? I barely know.
So it's an online discussion platform where people hold conversations in the form of posted messages in these little trees that are called a thread.
Yeah.
And they're really different from chat rooms like, Discord and Skype and other things because the messages are longer than one line of text and they get temporarily archived.
Yeah. Typically paragraphs, to be honest.
Yeah, they're usually like full on like essays some of the time.
To me, in my perspective, I think the biggest difference between forums and modern social media, excuse me, is the fact that with forums, you can post a thread or you reply to a thread. And that thread, as long as people keep replying to it, keep discussing within that thread, will stay up there for days, weeks. I have seen threads that have been up for like years. Like I have seen threads that have been posted to since like 2012 and have like 500 1,000 pages of people talking. Like these are spaces that are kept and archived. Compare that with social media. Like in social media, the posts are archived to an extent, and you can go back to like tweets from like 10 years ago. But the thing is, those are forever kind of sunk in the back. You have to know where to find them. Those are forever buried down below. Well, threads on forums, they're always back. They're always, as when people reply to it, they get bumped back to the top. So these are like long form discussions, not just in text size, but like time.
Yes. Yes, that's why I would classify them as like a long form digital discussion. And a lot of the research that I did for this episode on like the nature of forums and the death of forums, actually the most insightful things that I found came from forum discussions on the death of forums, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah. Why we're dead.
Why we died.
It's almost, but it does like kind of seem like obvious because like imagine having that big discussion on like Twitter. Like I can't see it, or like even, or like definitely not like what websites are there really out to have like long form discussions?
I really think
Maybe Tumblr. We can discuss that later, but it's it's hard to find a long-term discussion like a forum.
Yeah. I think that the attention economy is just so different. The attention economy is what I use to refer to digital currency, and digital currency is attention. So, like, the
Yeah.
more attention you get, like, the richer you are online. And so the attention economy has changed insofar as people do not have the same amount of like currency and attention to spend on these longer form discussions. They like
Yeah.
their brains can't handle it.
So now that we know kind of know what a forum is, like tell me your like what do you remember? What forums did you use? Like what do you actually remember from like using forums?
So from my experience, I started out pretty early on forums with just looking at them and not actually like making an account. There were the Daria forums that I looked at because I was a really big fan of Daria. There were DeviantArt forums back in the day. DeviantArt used to have like their own forums, which I would occasionally check out for like art tips and stuff like that. I was also on the MSPA or the Homestuck forums, and I met my husband through Homestuck and
It's
forums.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's you can meet all these different people, and then I was also on the Equestria Girls forums, or, or
I
it was
rem-
the like the My Little Pony forums.
I remember back like every most pretty much most major websites had a forum that just like a obvious include like IMDb had a forum to discuss movies. And what really back then, like every fandom had a dedicated forum. I would watch like YouTube videos and it's like, oh, people would talk about like their history with something. And they would just casually say, yeah, I was on a forum that was dedicated solely to the Superman animated series or solely to Wario. Like the idea of, I love Wario, but a forum just about Wario is crazy to me.
Yeah,
Like a fandom specific forum, like each, not even just each fandom, like a specific character from a fandom. And that a forum was fine. Like, you didn't pay for an entire website all about this, which was cool, and have an actual user base.
yeah, and you could find all these different people through the forums that you could then like maybe start an IRC chat with, and then you would create a friendship. Maybe you would email back and forth, or something to that extent. Or like when Skype became popular, then you would go on Skype and you would talk like one
I
on one
yeah,
style.
and I feel like I missed out on that. I missed out of like having a more human connection because it's really hard to do that on social media because like you don't remember anyone. Like websites are borderline anonymous. You will see someone's post unless you follow them and you hit that bell icon. You're never gonna like fucking see them again.
Yeah,
Compared to forums, you're stuck with people on forums. You're gonna see yeah, like if there's a guy you don't like, you're gonna see his ugly mug, his profile and his signature pop up everywhere, no matter what. You couldn't really block people either. It'd be weird if you could, right?
yeah. To my knowledge, there wasn't any way that I could block anyone, but if there was someone that I didn't like kind of taking over a discussion, I would just like unfollow the thread.
Mods, ban that guy. I'm
Mods
reporting
ban
you
this
to an
man.
admin.
Mods did sometimes have to approve posts before they went through.
Mm.
If a user had like a certain amount of strikes on their account or something like that. But what I would do is I would just unfollow the thread and then I would like start a new thread or something. And I feel like that's why people conducted themselves a little bit more rationally
Yeah.
on forums, where there was like this certain understanding that you have to be a little bit pleasant so that people will engage with you in discussion. That isn't to say that there weren't trolls. There absolutely were trolls, but they were, at least from what I remember, a little bit more pleasant and innocent in their trolling than what you would see now.
Let's go in specific. Let's actually talk about specifics. What do you actually like remember? Do you, like any trolls or like any famous? Because everything I've heard was like from the past, basically, from a long time ago.
So my favorite thing, and I don't know if this person is actually a troll. Like some people suspected them to be a troll, some people suspected them to be genuine, but I think of them as a troll. And that is the person who made the something awful Doom bathroom. And the
You
reason it's
told me
called
about
the Doom
this.
bathroom, you're
Why? Why is
looking
it
it
called the
up?
Doom? Yeah, why is it called the Doom bathroom?
The reason it's called the Doom bathroom is it's this red, black, and gray bathroom that looks like something out of a Doom mod. And someone actually went and made a Doom mod of the bathroom that you can play. And it's a DIY like nightmare scenario where
I'm looking at pictures of it right now. It's really fucking ugly. It's like this like very gothic red and black. This like wallpaper that's like all black. It's like so moody for a bathroom.
the wallpaper is upside down. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Cuz it's so good that he put the wallpaper upside down. Um
Maybe liked it that way.
in addition to that, the rest of the house is kind of crazy too.
Well, he's selling it on Zillow. Like it's been so long since then. He's now selling it, and the Doom bathroom is still there on Zillow. The gothic, like dark bathroom. And the rest
Yeah.
of it doesn't really match that much. It's like a nice, like stereotypical middle class family, like white
Right.
walls, brown hardwood floors. But then
But
this like
some
gothic
rooms.
bathroom. What one of them is like lime green. It looks like a generic like home TV room. But he drew like a demon on the wall for no
Yeah,
reason.
I was like, is this supposed to be like a kid's room or something?
I have
But
a
why is the
feeling.
demon there?
I have a feeling that like he hired like a professional because like the house is like empty, so he must have moved everything out and then hired like professional photographers to come in and take pictures of all the rooms because the pictures look really nice. Uh,
Oh
but
yeah.
so like they must have taken all of his crap out, but they couldn't like change the wall, so they made this like kids would look all they have like little stairs. They have like clean toys, like little wooden toys on these like white IKEA shelves for the photo, but they can't remove the big white demon he painted in the wall. They can't fuck with that. Uh, they can't change the Doom bathroom either. My favorite, however, is this guy installed a like upstairs bedroom. Like there was like a little like crevice or like a dent, whatever you call it, into the wall, and it's like you put like a TV there, like a TV and a desk there, a home, home media, a home movie, whatever you want to call it. But he installed these giant like red velvet theater robes to go around
Yes.
this entire TV den. And it's so out of place. And it's funny because it's like you can tell the house is kind of old because the space it could not fit like a modern day flat screen. So you must have like that like a little CRT or like a medium sized CRT puts in there like a small 480 screen with giant ropes so you can act like it's a movie theater, which is really funny.
Not
Um,
only is that really funny, what I think is the funniest part is that he put the curtains in crooked, so one is just slightly higher than the other.
this guy's theme is like big ideas, but he doesn't even like execute them that well.
Yes. But not
Like
only that,
he had this big plan for a bathroom. He fucked up the wallpaper.
what's really funny about him is like his attitude on the forums too, was that he was very verbose and he would always just be like,
Mm.
I'm just a humble DIYer, but I know what I'm doing. And it was amazing to witness. He just had such a good air about it. The something awful forums, there were always people giving him advice and stuff, but one thing he would do is he wouldn't listen to women. He wasn't a misogynist or anything, but if you were a woman,
No,
he wasn't going to listen to you.
he
I
just
don't
didn't
know, it's
respect your
just
opinion.
yeah, exactly. So it was just kind of like weird, wacky stuff like that. And then there was also this guy, uh Super Mecha Godzilla, also on
Oh yeah.
Something Awful, who he talked about video games, but he had such a quality to his posts, and I'm gonna read you
Please.
his analysis of why Duke Nukem Forever fails.
Yeah.
Um Duke Nukem Forever treats these normal characters with relentless and utter contempt. Any pretense that Duke was a working class hero have been dropped, as now he's apparently a billionaire in a solid gold penthouse with a fucking throne. The aliens no longer represent police corruption or the patriarchy, but rather foreign cultures. See the WMD joke. And obviously, they joke about the rape now, because the people being raped are no longer audience stand-ins, but rather a bunch of semi-conscious, inhuman inferiors. What
Gloomy,
makes the Olsen twins
Gloomy,
so
the
objectionable?
Olsen twins. Gloomy, this sounds like one of your like blog posts you would make.
I think I was very informed by these types of people. I
This is your
molded
culture.
myself.
This is your culture. This is like
This is my culture.
this is a blog post I would say on It's Cool Trash.
This is a blog post you would see on It's Cool Trash about why trolling is good, actually.
Yeah, please continue on the Olsen trends though.
Oh, yes, yes. What makes the Olsen twins so objectionable that they need to get taken down several pegs anyways? Besides that they're female, of course. So
Great.
just
That's great.
it's great. I don't know what else to say about it. I will say this. There weren't as many trolls on the My Little Pony forums that I was on. I think the
No.
website might have been called Equestria Daily.
How old were you doing on these forums?
I was about 16.
Okay, so the population was about like one 16-year-old girl, then a bunch of 40-year-olds who would message you.
Yeah, a bunch of 40-year-old men.
Yeah.
That's why my dad was a little bit skeptical when we actually did meet up at a convention.
This is me and all my friends. Craig, Dave, Gerald.
This one has a daughter about my age.
We're gonna go play Dance Dance Revolution together. To my dad.
Yeah, and my dad kind of stayed with me the whole time. So,
I
you know.
I bet he did.
Um it was a very interesting experience, but like on the Equestria Daily forums, there was this one user. They were like role-playing forums, so everybody
Yeah.
had made their own pony sonas.
What was your pony
And
Sona? What was
my
yours?
pony sona was called Postscript, and she
Oh, you
was
fucking nerd, dude. Come
shut
on, man.
up.
Fucking nerd.
She was her thing was that she was an earth pony who was like racist against like unicorns because she wanted to write and she had to do it like by hand basically.
Of fucking course, you make a pony Sona and she's racist.
That's terrible.
This pony represents me. He's racist.
It wasn't me specifically. It was just like a character that I made.
It was just
You
the energy
can't find
coming
her
out.
online because she doesn't exist.
I'm looking it up. I'll find her. No, she's gone.
She's genuinely gone. She looked like a deer.
You gotta draw her one of these days.
I will draw her. I will draw my racist pony. Well, at the time I didn't really realize it was racism. I just thought, oh, she doesn't like unicorns because they have it easier.
This makes sense. You're from the South, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Oh my god!
This is horrible, Gloomy. This is horrible. They have it easier. What is this?
They have the little horns. They can do
Did
magic.
did Postscript also talk about their heritage a lot?
Postscript mostly talked about their writing career that was doomed to fail.
Oh my god,
Um,
dude.
you know.
My Brian Griffin pony.
I was also really into Homestuck at that
Yeah.
time, but that's how, I met my husband, was basically through Homestuck. But on the Equestria Daily forums, there was a troll who made their own pony,
Uh-huh.
and their pony was a pony who worked at a glue factory,
Oh no.
and they had like a little scythe, and they looked like the Grim Reaper, and they got banned from the forum like immediately.
No.
You
They
had to apply with your character to be on the forums, and they got banned immediately.
oh, no. They banned him, but not your Republican pony. Come on. You
I know, right?
fucking
It was kind of
alt
a meta critique,
your
really.
alt-right pony you made.
My alt-right pony was
Oh
critiquing the alt-right, though, if you think about it.
no, you know what I see.
I think I just really didn't realize the
I,
connotations.
you just didn't like unicorns.
I did not.
This is they really have forums really do have lasting power. You talked about this before, but like like the Twitter main characters, someone would like pop off on Twitter, and then a day later they're completely forgotten.
Oh yeah, but the thing is about that is that, like, yes, they are completely forgotten about within like a day or even hours of a day,
Yeah,
but that reputation sticks with them longer than the reputation of a forum troll sticks
yeah.
with the forum troll. So like, for example, you could do something bad on Twitter, and then like everyone brings it up whenever you're mentioned ever.
Ugh.
But if you did something bad on a forum, nobody gives a shit.
You're just the cool Doom bathroom guy. You made the shitty,
Yes.
stupid bathroom.
Yes.
Well,
It doesn't affect your real life at all.
I can see like and I what makes the Doom bathroom guy story to me is the fact that he would like keep posting about like this would last like trolling would last like throughout like the weeks people would be posting a great example a great example again I wasn't there for this but I was born in the afterbirth of forums and something I always heard from YouTubers was the bodybuilding forums, which I don't know why, but
Oh,
apparently is the most insane place on earth. Like,
yes.
I don't know. One of the one I always heard. Mega 64 did a really good skit on this. Was apparently two guys in the bodybuilding forums. Excuse me. Two guys in the bodybuilding forums had an argument over how many days were in the week. Like, cause they're trying to make like a gym workout schedule, and they're like, I want to go like 4 times a week, but you can't fit it in like a 7-day week, and like they were like arguing about how many days are in like somehow this turned into like an argument that lasted 100 or like more pages. I forgot the exact count, but a comically long argument that lasted like days or I think like maybe months, and that could only happen in forums. Like you take like the Doom bathroom guy on Twitter. This happens now. He posts a tweet. He can't be all verbose about it because the character limit. So he says, "Remodel my bathroom, making it look really cool." And then a guy would like quote retweet them and say like the concept of doing this to your bathroom, and that would get 102K likes, and that would be it. Then it will die, and then the Doom bathroom guy would make a tweet like months later saying like, "Oh, I need money for my GoFundMe," and a guy would quote you like, "Aren't you the guy that made the stupid bathroom?" And then he would get banned. Like
Yeah. No,
that
exactly.
that's modern. It's not these like long remembered stories that we cherish. It can't happen. That was unique to forums.
Yeah. That was a very fun culture. I feel like, people talk about this irony poisoning that we have today, but I feel like peak irony posting was on forums.
Yeah.
And it was actually rather innocent and fun.
Do we have any remaining things, any trolls, or just any moments you still remember before we move on?
Um, I think I was a little bit of a troll occasionally on the MSPA
Ooh,
forums.
we don't like that. We hate that.
We hate that.
We hate
Um,
that. You would you would dox people. You
no,
would make fun of people's appearances.
yeah, I
You
would.
would tell people you were horrible actually on the Homestuck
I
forums.
know. Well, what I did is I played as a kind of this offshoot of one of the characters, Nepeta, and
Yeah,
I
Nepeta.
was, and I was,
And you renamed
I
yourself to Nepeto. That was your gimmick, right?
no, my gimmick was that I was a rat based troll, and I
Was he
would
also racist like your pony or no?
no, he was not racist. He was like just this little rat. Well, actually she was. It was a girl. She was this little rat that would come into like whatever fan trolls like posts, and I would like derail the thread by like gifting a dead rat. That's all I would do.
How about like Jared Leto is giving people dead rats?
They were like a hunter or something, and they were like
Yeah.
based off a rat, and they would give dead rats, and I don't know. But my favorite thing was like going onto the MSPA forums as different characters, like role playing,
Yeah.
and like I would uh like go as different characters, but I would like be super out of character and see if people would clock it. That was always really fun.
Yeah.
Um and I would like start off subtly, and then I would try and confuse them with other characters, so it was like, "Oh, you're playing as like Roxy Lalonde, but you're speaking like Equius." And those are two very different characters. So, you know,
As someone who has never heard of any of these people, this is like so funny because it's funny, but it's also kind of lame to be honest. I'm sorry.
it was funny to me. I didn't really get the hang of trolling for a while.
I, actually, I would have loved to have been there because I'd love to see people just rage because you're gonna get my character wrong.
Yeah, no, it
You
was
got-
fun.
No. I'm playing as Daenerys, not Count Doo. You got.
Yeah.
I don't
And
want your dead rat.
it was all very like I just there was an entire like this is not necessarily forums related, but I sort of got my momentum as a troll on Tumblr,
Yeah.
and I made an entire ask blog where it was Dave and um Dave and John from Homestuck running like uh
What?
running like a pedophile exposing operation
Gloomy.
where they would
This.
expose they would
No.
expose and accuse people on Tumblr of being pedophiles.
This is. Oh my. That is horrible. That is horrible. What kind of jump is this? You went from like I'm role playing as the wrong character, and then you're like I call people that is horrible. You didn't get better. You didn't get better. You went from like a craftsman to a nuclear bomb. What the?
And I would edit pictures of Chris Hansen to look like Dave. Yeah.
This is gonna kill your career.
Would you have a seat? And then I was 16.
This happened a year ago, by the way.
This happened a year ago. No, I was 16. I did it with my friend from school.
Oh,
And
it was all here. It was all their idea. What's his name?
oddly enough, their name is also the same as my name.
Okay, it's all their idea. It was all their idea. Gloomy 2's idea, not Gloomy
Me too.
1's. Yeah.
No, but
Oh my god.
that's kind of one of those things that, you know, you can't really do nowadays. You can't like accuse random people online of being
Yeah,
secret
no,
pedophiles.
I don't think so, Gloomy. I don't think. I think that was. I think that was a bad move on your part.
That was
Funny
a
in
bad move.
retrospect. Funny in retrospect. You know. Um, I'm getting this big like. I feel like I missed out because I feel like this is my. I feel. You know, people say I was born in the wrong generation. I was sort of born in like the '60s. I wanted to troll in the forums because I've always been a troll. I trolled in the TF2 VCs. My latest troll I'm pretty proud of is I was in a disc. I was at Donkey Kong Discord. The new Donkey Kong game came out. We had Pauline, who's now a kid, and I forgot like the original thing. I think it's like it's her like granddaughter over the fuck. But I went into like one of the chats. I was like talking about like, oh, I got this theory that she's her own grandmother, and she lost a memory. So any memories she had about her grandmother is actually just her. So she's her own grandmother. And people got so fucking mad. Like, what are you talking about? You're an idiot. Shut up. And I ignored. I kind of acted stupid. Like I was like unaware that they hated me. So I was like, no, I think it's a really good idea. It's in the. I would say my evidence would be like, have you? They ask for evidence, and I would say, have you played the game? Like I played the game. Like then you know what I'm talking about because it's in the game. And it gets so it. I 100%ed it, so I saw the game from all sides. And then my last point was if Mad Pat was still alive, he would agree with me. and I and my reasoning why he died is because game theory ended. So since game theory, you know, retired Mad Pat has died. Like, no, he just retired. I'm like, no, he's dead. But if he was alive, he would agree that Pauline. And like that's the long-term trolling I love. I love doing shit like the people making mad over innocent things. And I'm kind of like miss these old days of the forums. I kind, you know, it would have been fun. I feel like I missed out
You
on. I was
missed
too
your
young.
prime.
I know. I was born in the wrong generation. I should be 30. Um
You
oh
were
my
like a
god.
prime. You were a prime troll and you missed it. I'm so sorry.
I have stories, but we'll be getting away from forums. But yeah, forums sound fun, and I had a recent experience with the forum, but we're talking about that later. Because we kind of tried to bring forums back for at least a day. It didn't quite work out, but before we talk about that, we should talk about like you know what all the like we're talking about all these fun times. You're making racist pony sonas. You're running like I think like illegal slander blogs on Tumblr. You're meeting husbands. We're having this great time. Why did they die? What happened? What happened to the forum? Like why is this a past tense thing? Why did death of the forums?
I have a theory.
Okay.
A game theory.
Okay.
And
Rest in peace, Matt Pat. But rest in peace, Matt Pat. By the way, if he was alive, he would agree with you, Gloomy. I
if
think.
he was alive, he would agree with me. So the
Yeah.
primary reason, of course, is the rise of social media. So the natural evolution there from, you know, people going on like fan pages and stuff like that is to then make a forum and
Okay.
add that discussion element to the fan page. And then from there, you know, people are like, okay, well, what if we make it so that there's a whole entire website where anybody from any fandom can connect to each other? There's
An
a
everything
huge
app, like an
social
everything app, you say?
and everything app. What if we made
The
X.com?
everything app.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
these kinds of things roll in, and at first they're very, very similar to forums. Like I'm thinking, you know, Reddit and Tumblr primarily. are like the two that are the most similar
You can definitely see
to
the DNA. There's DNA there.
yes. So Tumblr is a microblogging website, but it had aspects of forum culture in there, like the tagging system. And that's how these kinds of fandoms kind of grew on Tumblr. But
Yeah, Tumblr feels like the child of forums and blogs. I feel like we can talk about blogs in another episode one day because that's a whole different discussion. Is that the rise
oh
and fall of
yeah,
blogs? But
yeah.
Tumblr was kind of trying to be like the combination of that, taking blogs and forums, making them one.
Yes, and I think of it as like a transition period
Mm,
between the forum internet and the social media internet.
right.
So it was like a gateway. And then what happened was is that Tumblr eventually died and you get to the death of the open internet. Um
Okay.
and the death of the open internet is the kind of internet where you could have your own website and people would actively search out other people's websites to go to.
Yeah, the information superhighway. The highway kind of closed down a little bit.
Yeah. And then I would also say that another big reason for it is changing attention spans. Like I talked about the attention economy. People have less attention to spend on these long form digital discussions. And then the final nail in the coffin is the cost of upkeep.
We can definitely talk about that in a bit too.
Yeah, yeah. So the cost of upkeep is basically just forms are extremely expensive to keep up.
Yeah, I would say the first three reasons lead to the fourth.
Yeah.
The first social media, it gets harder and harder to find. Social media makes it harder for you to find other websites. By the way, like if you make a tweet that's just a link to another website, it will get suppressed. Um, so big companies do what they can to close the open internet, and along with and the less and less traffic to forums to other websites. Websites are pretty fucking expensive, especially if you have to keep a server, an archive of hundreds of 10-year-old conversations, hundreds and hundreds of threads, all of the one server. That shit's expensive. You cannot keep that up if you're not getting like instant more revenue.
Right. So it's and they aren't really something that is for making revenue. Like people are not going to donate to keep a forum up. They're just
Yeah.
not. There's no real like value in that. Sometimes people would pay to get like different permissions occasionally. I remember Something Awful had a paywall for a little while,
Mm.
but it's not the same as like getting a pro account or on like getting a verified account on Twitter or X or whatever it's called these days. I don't give a shit. Um or getting like a Discord Nitro. It doesn't provide the same amount of value.
The thing about the internet is this has always been like a tug and pull. It's about like making your website make money to just keep it up because no one wants to be bombarded with, no one wants to see a shit ton of ads. Nobody wants to see, like paywalling basic features. But at the same time, how do you expect these companies? I think people have this expectation that websites and apps can just stay up forever and no one pays for it. I don't want to defend any big corporations or anything, but like, and I fucking hate how much shit's gatekept in Discord. But also, like people, like what millions of people use Discord as like also like a file saving site. Like,
Oh yeah, I do that.
yeah, like Discord. I'm not defending their shitty business practices, but do people expect them not try to like make money? Because this shit must be expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Yeah,
I guess like in that sense, I would say all of these kinds of reasons that forums died sort of lead into each other.
yeah.
So, do you have any questions about any of those topics?
So my big question I have is Was this inevitable? Was the centralization into Twitter or into the same five websites, was this always going to happen? Were we doomed from the start? Because we do it kind of in other areas. You know, this is like way out of the context of this little podcast, but like, globalization brings more and more people together into one thing. You see it with companies. Companies merge into bigger companies. Were we always doomed to live in this reality? Could forums have Was this inevitable? Could forums have made it?
I think of a forum as a neighborhood and the internet as like a country.
Right.
Or more accurately, I think of like forums as a neighborhood, and then the internet is like a place that has a country. So like,
Mhm.
I don't know, like it's the world, and then the country is like the website, and then even more niche, the state is like maybe a fandom on that certain website, and then the forum is the neighborhood. So
Right.
I feel like it's all kind of condensing into each other, but when you kind of remove certain like countries from that ecosystem, what you get is like an overpopulation of the internet. And I would say that that kind of happened because the internet is completely inescapable now.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, normies kind of flooded the internet and overpopulated it. And now we're kind of dealing with the aftermath of that.
The normies, because they were gonna come no matter what. The internet
Oh,
will grow
right.
bigger, more people to use it. But why isn't it the normies will go to theirs? Like, here's the thing: all the normies will go to their websites, but what made the weirdos and the freaks and the disgusting worms of the internet, us basically?
Yes, us.
Why did we stop using the forums then?
I would say that, like, first of all, the reason that they're going to go to those websites anyways is the same reason that we're going to go to those websites
All
anyways,
right,
which is to say it's the town square effect.
that's where the conversation is.
Yeah, that's where the conversation is happening. If there's conversations happening elsewhere and it's about stuff that you like, you're going to go there and at least see what they're saying, and you might bring it back to your neighborhood, but you at least want to go and see what's happening.
Yeah, this is kind of what's been stopping me from me, because it's really easy to say like, "Oh, I wish we can go back to the old days." It's hard to do that because, I hate X, the everything app. I hate the people that run it, and every time I use it, I kind of get like, I don't even I don't feel good ever. I don't like come out of like, I'm happy I scrolled Twitter for an hour. I never feel that.
Yeah.
It's more so I know all the artists I like, the people I listen to, my friends are on there. A lot of my interests are on the only place people discussing this is on Twitter. It's it really is, unfortunately, the everything app. Sadly, it sucks.
Yeah.
Uh, and like I find it, let's go to Blue Sky, let's go to Pello 4, let's go to whatever the fuck. You go there, and I like Blue Sky personally, but it's way way less people, and there's always that feeling, I guess, the FOMO, fear of missing out. What is the majority talking about over there? That's why like internet migration is so hard, because you all got to go at once. What's the real conversation going on over there? You don't want to be alone on an empty website, even if you like the website's layout. You don't want to be alone, and
Yeah.
that's what's hard.
That's why the Tumblr exodus is so interesting. And I hope that we get to talk about that in an episode later because like millions of blogs completely defunct because they literally all moved at the same time
Yeah.
to different websites. And it was an interesting almost phenomenon um because it hadn't happened like that before.
That's why I'm leaning toward maybe inevitable, because it happens in stages. Like the hardcore form users, they're staying, but kind of like the more random riff raft. They're like, there's more shit going on over there. I'm gonna leave, and then it's just
Mhm.
the hardcore guys. and maybe there's not a lot of new people coming in, so it's like the same crowd. And due to life, some people leave, and it gets just smaller and smaller and small incrementally, and eventually, like, you look around, like, hey, it's not like 50 other people here, and kind of a bubble. I'm out of here, and then it dies.
Yeah.
So it's stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess if you don't have any more questions, then what do you think forum's legacy is?
The aftermath of
Yeah.
forums. it, it a lot of people came from forums, like you, a lot of online creators, so they kind of kept the DNA. You might even realize it again if you never like seen them, but like memes, the way people talk, a lot of it came from forums. Like a lot of like stuff, like this stuff. Like I'm influenced by my great grandfather because he raised my grandfather and then my dad and then me, but I don't know him. I think like the same way
Oh
with
yeah.
forums. I'm influenced by internet that was influenced by them. Um, and I don't really know exacts. Like, what do you think the legacy is?
I think there was a very interesting show on YouTube. It was called PBS Idea Channel. And one of their episodes that they did was on the language of the internet and internet dialects. And that
Yeah,
different websites had their different dialects and different almost languages where you it was almost like an accent. Like you could tell that someone was from a certain website based on how they talked online or what kinds of speech patterns they had online. And one of the things that I think is very interesting is that from the Something Awful forum, a lot of people like don't even realize this, but 4chan came out of the Something Awful
yeah.
because you couldn't talk about anime on Something Awful. They eventually changed that rule, but because you couldn't talk about anime on it, they made 4chan. And 4chan has a sort of forum-like structure. It's a message board,
Yeah,
but it's all anonymous.
it's
And
not it's non-archived too. The
yeah,
big
and
big
it's not
difference.
archived. That's a big difference. But a lot of language that we use now in, I guess, what I would call mainstream internet originates from 4chan lingo.
I remember like boomer zoomer were like 4chanisms. I remember this is like I remember people like saying boomer on 4chan. And then like 3 years later, like there was the whole okay boomer like era where people like saying like okay boomer, like that was like the thing. They're talking about like on the news, and I was like,
Yeah.
I've seen this on 4chan years ago, and now with boomer zoomer is just like regular speech that people in the real world use.
Yeah. And it's crazy. But I feel like that's the legacy is that forums originate the culture of the internet,
Yeah.
that even if they are passed down and they're dead, they're still kind of haunting our language and our social interaction.
Yeah. I should add though, I know baby boomer has been like used since the 1960s. I know boomer already existed, but that like specific internet usage of the word boomer, that is
Yeah.
definitely like like that was from 4chan. Like the new definition of boomer. That was a 4chan original. And I have a claim to fame when we're talking about the influences that like forever affected the internet. I was there when the Chad meme was invented. Uh, I was on that thread when the guy drew Chad. Um, there was because a lot of people don't know this, but like before the original like Virgin Walk versus Chad Stride image was created, for, like I think for maybe about a year or more, it was just the Virgin Walk. It was making fun of the way like uh, some a typical type of man like that would use 4chan would like his hair overreacts in the wind. He's like always looking down. He has like headphones in. He would wear muted clothes, and that was posted everywhere until like someone got so sick of it. And again, I was on this thread. He replied to it out of pure hatred and made the Chad stride. And what's funny is the original joke of Chad was the opposite of Virgin. So Virgin would have muted clothes, but Chad would have like an pink hyper neon ouch tank top and lime green pants and have like weird pointy hair. The joke was it was like a exaggeration of like a non-virgin. Uh and that was the earliest Chad memes. I really liked them. Though eventually it left 4chan and what happened with every meme, it just became things I don't like versus things I do like, which I think is the final evolution of every meme. Every meme will eventually get corrupted and ruined, where it's just like stuff I don't like, and like here's the shitty stuff, here's the good stuff. You're a virgin Minecraft enjoy, and I'm a Chad Terraria trickster, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it every meme eventually either becomes thing I like versus thing I don't like, or gay sex,
Yeah.
which also has its roots in Tumblr.
Which has its roots in the forum. It all connects.
Yes.
Every time there's like a meme of like this is the Chad, this is like a good woman and this is a bad woman. Someone's gonna like quote retweet or quote reblog whatever the fuck. Hey, draw them having sex, and
Yeah.
then someone's gonna do that, and that's
Hmm.
great. We love that. Very true.
Yeah. Very true.
Very true.
Um, we love that memes have been boiled down to one of two things: thing
Yeah.
I like
So yeah.
versus thing I don't like,
Yeah.
and gay sex.
Opinions or sodomy is the final evolution.
And
Uh,
that's the legacy of forums: gay sex
yeah.
and opinions.
Yeah. Well, and what's really sucks is a lot of the forums, even though its legacy lives on, it's actually surprisingly hard to go back. Speaking of like YouTubers, they would talk about like all these old forum threads I used to visit. But if you go now, it's all 404. Basically the entire internet, as you knew, these like hours of discussion, weeks and years of discussion, is down Route 404. It's gone. You can never
Yeah.
go back. They're all dead, and the users they all died too. Everyone who used it is dead. It's all dead.
Some of them
Um,
actually are, for real.
yeah, very very sad.
We hate that. We hate that. But
There
no,
were
that's kind of the conceit of the name, is that like the internet that we, or at least I used to have, no longer exists.
I will say mine too. I might have had a different internet from you, but there's a lot of shit I remember as a kid. I remember enjoying a lot is gone as well. Even on websites that still exist, content I used to love is either deleted or so far down the content I don't know, the content dump, it's impossible to ever find again, you know?
Yeah. It's
Um yeah.
it's kind of a minefield of like, does this thing exist or is it just another dead end?
Yeah, it's a broken link, or like you go to any form, even if the form still exists, you go to, like the image file will be corrupted because the image hosting website's now gone. It ran out of
Yeah.
money. And this was something I'm sure you heard it from like your parents, that everything online will last forever, you know. Anything you go online is gonna last forever. I don't think that's true. In fact, I I propose a new saying. Everything you want to stay forever will not stay forever. Anything you wish to disappear probably isn't going away.
I think that's fair, cuz the
Yeah.
internet, I was always concerned about my digital footprint online, but I still
Yeah.
acted very recklessly because I was like a little kid. Um I've I've done so many different things, made so many different mistakes, and because the internet is not forever, I'm sure some of those things are completely lost to time.
Yeah.
But if I ever like blow up and get like extremely extremely popular, I'm sure they'll resurface.
Yeah, if there's something you don't want, it will come back. People will remember. People will, especially if you get popular, they will find it and they will try to ruin it with you.
Yeah.
ruin you with it, or or not even like if you make a stupid video or you embarrass yourself, people will be talking about it for the next 20 years. Videos be like meme edits. You post an unflattering picture of you, and like you're like the face of ugly people now for some reason.
Yes.
Uh, However,
That's
like
me.
all, how, yeah, you're the face of racism online, and
Oh my god.
I'm the face of unemployment. So it's not good, and yeah, but like the beautiful artwork you made 10 years ago, or the most beautiful story you've ever read that brought you to tears when you were 15, that shit's gone, and the author is in hell. Like it's never coming back. Uh, that great artwork of the favorite fan art character that got you into drawing that was on DeviantArt. Well, guess what? The guy you made got bombed and he's dead, and the artwork has disappeared, and you will never find it, and it will just exist in your brain. And as you get older, you will forget more and more of it until it's just a blurry picture in your head. And you're like, I'll find it someday, but you never will. The internet is not forever.
That's so bleak. Do you want to switching
if
gears for a second?
If you like something, save it. Is all I'm gonna say. If you like something, make sure you save it right then and now.
Every second counts.
Yeah.
Um I I want to switch gears for a second because we did make our own forum. It's a temporary forum because the
Yeah.
costs are so heavy. It's like $100 a month.
Well, let's
But
get into it.
yeah,
Well, we're planning this podcast. We know what we want to talk about forums. Gloomy owns a website. It's cooltrash.com. She has a cool store with stickers and goodies and cool clothes and a secret club for only $5 a month. You can get exclusive sketches, uh, uh, and a secret store. And her website kind of has a forum. And we decided, since we're making this episode, let's open our own forum. Gloomy can do that. And we opened a forum. And Gloomy showed it to all our fans. I showed it to my friends and the 3 psychopath fans I have. And we decided to see like what's gonna. Oh, here it is. Gloomypunks.discussion.community. We opened this a few days ago. Tell me what it's like. Tell me how it was, Gloomy.
so we made a couple of different avenues for talking. So a couple
Yeah.
different conversation topics or categories. And we kind of just dicked around on a forum for a little while.
What were the topics? What were the categories?
So we have the general chat, the most
Yeah, for everything.
frequented for
Yeah,
everything.
politics, whatever.
Yeah, everybody loves the general chat. There's severe artism, which is for art. There is Zine Machine for making
Also known as Zine Machine.
Also known as Zine Machine for making zines.
Yeah.
Little Co, which is a discussion of comics and cartoons after the 4chan board Co.
Big Co.
And yeah, Big Co. And Companion Central for talking about cats and I guess other animals as well.
How long was the golden age of this forum? I would say a good 40 minutes.
Yeah, the golden age of this forum was about 40 minutes. Maybe 45 if we're pushing it.
We had fans joining like every 5 minutes. We had like 15 fans in total coming in.
Yeah, and now we only have 2 users on the site, and it's you and me, and you're sending me messages on the site right now. Stop. And he's still dicking around on the forums.
I had so much. This was kind of like, how do I describe it? It's like when a billionaire builds like a movie theater so you can like go. It's like a rich guy builds like a blockbuster in his mansion so he can like relive his childhood, or relive when Michael Jackson, like when he became like rich and famous, he like pretended to be a kid again because he never experienced being a child. This was me being experiencing being a forum troll that I never got to be when I was younger. I think I spent the entire 40 minutes trying to piss Gloomy off.
I think he did, and it was really funny. I was actually having a blast. I was like
It was
pretending to get
so
pissed
fun.
off,
It
but
was so
I
fun.
was genuinely having so much fun. We posted about things in Little Co about the Snyder cut. We posted
Not, not, not I wrote Snyder soys need not apply, and I just shit talked the Snyderverse. I did get like one. You replied Snyder cuck seething right now. We did get an actual like discussion reply. We kind of ghosted.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We genuinely just kind of dicked around and we kind of used the old internet as it was intended, which is to just kind of
Have fun.
post and have fun and not care. I posted about my zine that if anybody ever actually read it, I would get canceled for, which is Mean Autistic Girl. If you want to read it right now and get me canceled, that's all great and
Hey,
good
I
and
I
fine.
read it. I read it,
Thank you.
and it's very true because she is mean.
And I think one of my favorite posts is the atheist meetup.
That was made. We don't know who. We don't know the man behind this account, but somebody named themselves Hot Guy 6769 and made a thread just for. Can I read it out loud, Gloomy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This thread is only for intellectuals and other high thinking thinkers that want to discuss politics, racism, religion, punk rock, and atheism. So he misspelled punk rock to puck rock.
Yeah, that's always good.
And we have a do not interact list of no Christians, no chuds, and no Canadians. In this moment, I am euphoric, not because of any phony God's blessing, but because I am enlightened by my intelligence.
I love this post. Did you want to read his signature too?
Oh, okay. This is so long.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
Okay, you read it. You read it.
My name is not important. What is important is what I'm going to do. I just fucking hate this world and the human worms feeding on its carcass. My whole life is just cold, bitter hatred, and I always wanted to die violently. This is the time of vengeance, and no life is worth saving, and I will put in the grave as many as I can. It's time for me to kill, and it's time for me to die. Jesus Christ. This is incredible. I know it's from a video game, but what video game is it from?
How am I supposed to know? It's his post.
You're Googling it right now.
Oh yeah, I am. Oh, it's the game Hatred
Oh, it's from the game Hatred?
about the school shooting simulator.
That's terrible!
I didn't make the post.
I'm just saying. It's
I'm saying
terrible.
what? Saying what? I didn't make the post. We had a first ever thread troll. Um and he could be anybody.
He could be anyone.
He could be anybody.
And I just posted, we're so back.
Someone posted, I just graduated from Reddit University.
So, honestly, we had a really fun time. I wish I could keep this up and that more people would interact here, but we kind of speed run forums and its whole, thing. Stop! we kind of did the speed run of what forums are like, in the sense of we created the forum, we got a whole bunch of users on the forum, we found out who the best posters were, and then it died. And it happened literally in the span of a day.
I think once you and me go off online, no one really cared to like post anything.
That's true. We were
It
kind of the superstars running it.
yeah, and when we're not there, no one cares. That's like kind of been the rule. Um, I do think there's something to learn from this because I think this is a problem of why it's so hard to make a form nowadays. Like, one, you gotta get a lot of people on there and you gotta make them stay. How the fuck do you do that? Even if it's a popular thing, how do you get people to stay and post forever?
You That's what the problem is that it needs something else beyond the just the sole engagement.
Like,
It
yeah,
and that's what social media has done so well, is that it's turned the attention economy into an actual economy. People are looking at the internet as a potential avenue for a job.
yeah. And there's no with Twitter or YouTube, a lot of these accounts, it's kind of to be a star, you know? You have a Twitter account and you want followers. You have a YouTube, you want subscribers. Instagram, you also want to get followers. And that way you can maybe turn into a business, which, you can call selling out greedy. It's a hard world out there. And if you can make money through the internet, that's fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I'd rather do what I love.
and you're not gonna make any money posting on a forum. You go on Twitter and you make posts that pop off. You can maybe turn that into some money eventually, like sell stuff, make a name for yourself. You can become the biggest guy on a forum. That doesn't mean anything. And I know we all kind of want to be the guy to say, I don't care. I'm just doing this for the love of a game. I think everybody has like a little part of them that like the world fucking sucks. I would kind of like to be popular online after to face the hard realities of the outside world. Maybe somewhere deep down, you know?
Yeah. I think
And
everybody wants to be liked.
yeah, and maybe forums never kept up with that. Uh there was actually some forums s- there's actually one forum I have an account on now. And this kind of relates to this one. It's called the dkvine.com. This shout out, not sponsored. It's a Donkey Kong forum about Donkey Kong, which
Hmm.
sounds like it should be completely dead, but it's actually been pretty alive. But it's kind of because it's a cult of personality forum. It's attached to a YouTube channel that has a podcast. Uh, and that kind of brings into this like you can't just have a forum and throw it out there. You might have to already be a very popular creator online with a giant community and then kind of have a cult of personality to keep fueling it. That's like the only way I can see a forum actually being alive. It needs another way to fund it. It can't just be the forum. I don't think a just forum alone can survive in big 2025.
And me, I've always wanted to be a cult leader, so
Yeah.
we're
And we want
we're we're getting on our start.
Gloomy dreamed as a kid was she could have been there in a big mansion and have a bunch of people drink Kool-Aid and die and she could like walk around. I think that's what she always wanted growing up, in
They're
Virginia.
gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me.
It's cool.
This is what I always wanted. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like ever since I was little, I never really got people except for online. And then once I got online, there was just a whole bunch of people that were like me, and um I
Just a
connected
lot of
with
people
them.
just like your pony, just like your pony. A lot of people like your pony. I can't get over that. I'm sorry. The funniest shit.
Okay, to clarify, to clarify, I didn't know that it was potentially racist at the time.
Okay,
I just thought,
we
you
all
know,
understand.
yeah.
And
Okay.
we forgive postscript.
Okay.
The internet has forgiven Gloomy.
The internet has forgiven Gloomy. Oh my god. Is that how we're gonna end it?
No, all I'm gonna say, well, we should talk about why is the forum closing down. We just opened it. It was doing we had so much fun. Cause forums are fun. I think forums are fun. We had so much fun. Even if it was just me and you, we had a lot of fun together. Why are we keeping
Yeah.
this open? Why do we keep this open forever? Hey, if this episode goes good, we might get more people on this forum. Why are we closing it, Gloomy?
Because it costs $100 a month to keep it up, and I
And
don't
that's
have
why,
$100.
and that's why we're reaching out to you guys. If you have $100, please mail it to please mail it to my
Mail it to my
house.
house in
We gotta
cash,
keep this
please.
open. Yeah, that's again back to the death of the forums. That's why it's so fucking hard. It's hard to keep this shit open because it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah, I mean, these are really expensive things to host and for not
Websites are
much
expensive.
revenue.
This is
Websites are
why
expensive.
I would say the centralization of the internet kind of happens so much. Having your little space is becoming more and more unreachable. It's not the time where everyone had their little NeoCities website. With their fan page, like with a bunch of gifs and shit and sparklies on it. You gotta go to a pre-existing, well-funded corporate website. You can't make your own form, or else you'll be homeless.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, but it how can we make the best of it?
I
How
don't
can we
know.
make the best of our corporate overlord reality?
We make fraud accounts? No. Uh, well, you don't you have something. What do you think the future is there for building a community? Do you think there's a future for that?
Communities are very much alive.
Right.
I say forums are dead, but communities are alive for a reason. And I think that the forum has moved to Discord. You know, you can even have threads on Discord where you like talk about things. Um, but I genuinely think that when you're in these communities and you branch yourself out into coming to a community, even if it's a niche Discord or something like that, Discord. Um, even if it's a niche Discord, like I don't know, like I have a Discord. If it's something like that and you want to join, that's great. Um, and you can make friends and companions and long-lasting relationships via communities that are existing right now. You just need to have the push to actually socially engage with people in a way
Mm-hmm.
that's genuine.
I agree. I think it's
Awesome.
out there. I think it might be harder with the death of the forum.
Yeah.
And I think we should end it here. But before we go, we should host a funeral.
A
For
funeral for forums.
for form. You know, there's a lot of forms that they all died, but considering it's about to die, I think we should host a funeral for a form. Cool trash club. Gloomy punks discussion community, which is gonna die probably when this podcast goes up. So,
Yeah.
do you want to say a prayer or anything for Cool Trash Club?
Uh I'll say a few words.
Okay.
Cool Trash Club, you were so much fun. You made me remember my childhood, and I just really wish that I could keep you around. It's not feasible for me at this time, but hopefully
It's not you,
you're
it's me.
yeah, it's not you, it's me. I hope that someday something better comes out of you.
I agree. Cool Trash Club, my beloved. You brought me something I never really got to experience, which is like a fun little community. And the community might have been about like one or two other people, but it was fun. Making calendar events, spamming Gloomy's DMs, going to the group like message board. It was fun. I felt like I did something I never had access to. So thank you for just maybe 40 minutes showing me a life I never got to live.
That was
Goodbye
beautiful.
goodbye forever, Cool Trash Club. Why you
That was
laugh?
beautiful. That was
It's sad,
beautiful.
yeah. I know. Well, thank you everybody for listening. I hope you really enjoyed the podcast. Uh,
Yeah.
this has been Route 404. Thank you for joining us, and I think it's time to get you back on your regular route through the internet. Before you go, please give us a epic like and subscribe. We have an RSS feed. I don't know what that is, but Gloomy said it's good. And if you want to support Gloomy in her artwork, go to itscooltrash.com and look at her cool stuff. And if you like me, Smiley Face, and cool aliens, check out my Twitter. Thank you, everybody. So long.
Thank you so much. Hold on, let me get ready.
Wait, hold up, I'm scared. Okay, let me
I'm like, hold up, I'm scared. Okay. Looks like you've taken a wrong turn.
Wait, no, I was drinking.
No.
I was drinking. Wait, no, I'm still scared.
Okay.
Okay, wait, let me put some pants.
You don't have pants on?
I have underwear on. I'm not a freak.